Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. How is everyone today? Hope you're having a great Saturday afternoon. Um, just watched well, I'll be honest with you, I watched parts of it. Well, watched most of it, but I was flicking between the cricket because, yeah, I don't know what your thoughts were on it were, but for me, it wasn't a great watch whatsoever. But a wonderful goal, great strike by Caroline Weir. So well done to City women team beating United. So yes, historic day for the ladies women's team, and obviously in front of a packed house, or fairly packed house today at the Etihad Stadium. So well done on a 1-0 win. I'll be honest with you, like I said, I thought the game was pretty dire, if I'm being honest. And there were times when I just decided to switch over and watch the cricket because it was like couldn't even like 5 passes and then foul throw-ins, and it was it is what it is. If you're into sort of women's football, I'm sure it's been a great day for Man City women. But for me, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure it's something that, as it stands at the moment, it's not something for me personally. I'd probably go and pay and watch, but they're part of the club, so we've got to support them, and we'll do everything we can to support the women's team this season. Like I said, I did switch over. I was watching a bit of the Ashes, and so today's news topics. You can see in the description below. This is going to be a quick one because it's Saturday afternoon. People are out and about doing their own thing, and I've got stuff to do anyway. So Section 20, even Andy and Sky Blues, how are you, mate? So we're going to talk about, obviously, City women beat United 1-0. Tedic update, a little bit more news about him. The Manchester Evening News claiming that Zinchenko could be the solution at centre-back. No, not a cat and else chance for me, if that's the truth. Muric was in net for a Kosovo win. And obviously we'll see Muric next week. Otamendi not included for Argentina's next game, and he's flying home with Celso. So he'll be back, and no chance of any injuries. And I think that was pre-arranged with the club. And then any other bits and pieces. Like I said, this is just going to be a very quick one because it's Saturday afternoon and you guys are all out doing your own thing. And good luck to you. So section, good evening to you, mate. How are you? Steve Black's on yo. Otamendi, good news. It is good news because, as you know, we are sort of struggling a little bit at the moment with centre backs, or certainly, official first team centre backs. So fingers crossed. Otamendi comes back. He'll be available for next weekend for the Norwich game, and there's no more issues. But I think that was all agreed with Argentina and Man City beforehand, that he might play in the first game, but the second game City wanted him back, and there was no risk of it, and so it's pretty sensible to do something like that. So I think the rumours are him and Lo Celso. If I could just double check, I think it's him and Lo Celso who are coming back. And one thing I did also want to add in is talking about a player, and I'll put this in the description later, but a player that many people had actually talked about on the channel before in the past, and that is Milan Skriniar. That people had said, "Oh, do you think we should go in and maybe we should buy him?" and things like that. And apparently, the rumours are that we did actually go in and potentially, according to Calcio Mercato, the Italian media, that we did actually go in and inquire about Milan Skriniar. And they turned round and basically just no chance. They basically said that they were not going to. Antonio Conte basically said that they weren't having any interest whatsoever in the Slovakian player in the summer, and blocked any approaches whatsoever. So when we talk about whether City were in fact looking for centre backs as cover for Vinny Company, knowing that he was going, it seems that it's bits and pieces are being drip fed out that actually City were looking at several players. We know obviously Maguire was being looked at, and obviously the price was just ridiculous, and the wages and things. So it shows you that City did have several options that they were looking at in the summer, but Conte just absolutely refused to let the Slovakian defender go. So maybe that's something. Maybe for January, maybe City will go back in, depending on how Inter are doing in the next sort of 4 or 5 months. So we'll see. Because it's saying here, the report explains Inter will reject any approaches for him, but they cannot be complacent of the fact that clubs are definitely courting the player. So we'll wait and see on that one. And this is on the back of obviously the video that it's a video stroke podcast that Rob put out with Martin, talking about the international break, and when we moved into the whole discussions about centre backs and should City really have got somebody, and was it a priority, was it not? And I don't think anyone envisaged the fact that Laporte got injured. But it shows you that, according to these rumours, City were definitely looking at several players in the summer as a replacement for Vinny Company. But for whatever reason, whether it be Conte refusing it or the price, the money, everything else, we didn't end up signing anyone of any significance anyway. Seem to be buying more youngsters from Slavic countries now. Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm sure there are plenty out there. And we'll talk about Tedic in a second. Kiam says, great win for the Blues. Good to see the kids there growing up knowing City are top dog, both men's and women. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Chris Lindley. How are you? Brian Gardner. How are you, mate? You well? Did any of you watch the actual women's game today versus United? Obviously, if you've not watched it, City won 1-0 with a lovely strike. I must admit, it was a really, really nice strike by Carolyn Weir. But apart from that, it was pretty hard going, I'll be honest, as a watch, definitely. And I don't want to decry the City women's team, but it wasn't a great watch at all. And but it's the first game of the season, so it's the curtain opener to the Women's Super League. So I'm sure things will only get better for City women in the coming future. And the fact that it was United in the first game, obviously it builds things up. And I thought United did pretty well, if I'm honest, considering they're the ones that have come up from the Championship. So I thought they did really well today to suppress City. But it was like, it was sloppy passing. I mean, stuff you'd look on a Sunday morning with 9-year-olds going, oh, come on, we've taught you how to take a throw-in. What are you trying to take a throw-in like that for? It was like, at times, just hard watch. City women, similar to the men, dominate the game, but comedy mistakes. There was some of it, it was like, oh my God, it was like 5-6 people all around the ball, all trying to fight for a ball, and it was... Yeah, but I'm sure it'll improve as the season goes on and they get into their stride and fitness levels improve, and Nick Cushing sort of gets the team together, and maybe maybe when some of the injuries come back and things like that, we'll be able to watch. Though great crowd, 31,000, absolutely amazing. Considering I think it was 5,000-6,000 or something like that in the Academy Stadium. Was the highest crowd for a women's game, and then to get 31,000 is absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. So well done everyone who went along today and watched that and supported the women's team. As I said, I was looking at going, but I had too much work on today. Going away for the day yesterday sort of like knocked me out, and I've had to really catch up as much as I can doing everything I possibly can to 3 o'clock so I could try and sit down and watch the women's game on TV. But I must admit, I did flick between the Ashes and the game because the Ashes was getting a bit exciting when we took 4 wickets. So we like beating them Reds, we do. Kiam says they reckon that record will be broke tomorrow, expecting 40,000 at Chelsea. Wow, that's amazing. That is fantastic for the women's game. It is just a great advertisement for the women's game that they can get 31,000 today and possibly 40,000. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea about the women's game. I don't have much interest in it, if I'm being honest. But who are Chelsea playing? Maybe Football Fan Chat can tell us. Because he's on. Hi, Blood. You all right, fam? Yeah, I am. Who are Chelsea women's playing tomorrow, Football Fan Chat? The women's game here is huge. They love it. Yeah, it's massive in sort of North America and Canada. It is huge, absolutely huge. And I think it's brilliant. And if they're going to watch, obviously, the women's game in the United States and the United States sort of national team and thing, an exceptional team. And I think it's only going to go from strength to strength, if I'm being honest. I'm going to the Chelsea game tomorrow. Can't wait. We're playing Spurs tomorrow. I'm in a box, 4-course meal. Yeah, what's going on here? 4-course meal in a box, Football Fan Chat. Hey, can you eat 4 courses? You, the size of you. You're lucky if you get a starter down your neck and that fills you up. In a box, check you out, VIP. You won 2 tickets. You won 2 tickets from EA Sports. Well done. Apologies for the lateness. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry, I've been planting bulbs all day. I saw the cheeky video that Rob put out earlier. How long is Laporte out for, Andy? Do you know? There's no... Well, Chris Lynn, we've done loads of videos on it, mate. We're not going to speculate. City have already made the statement last week to say, until we know a prognosis from Dr. Kugat, we're not going to make any further comment on how long it'll be and things like that. So we don't know. We don't know. It could be 8 weeks. It could be 16 weeks. Nobody knows. We'll just wait and see what City say. City will need to wait until the operation and everything else, the scarring and everything else has calmed down. He'll be reassessed by Dr. Kugat, and then they'll put him in a sort of introduction program, and then they'll know a little bit more about potentially what the expected time is. So I wouldn't like to speculate. There's lots of people saying, it's 3 months, it's 4 months, it's this. Let's wait and see what City say. They're the only people who actually know exactly what's going on. Loved your face in Rob's video. Really? Lateness not tolerated, absolutely. Told you Shriniar, great centre-back, shame about Otti, hope it's just precautionary. No. He was. He's been told that City. Apparently, this was all agreed, mate. This was all agreed with City that he wouldn't play the second game, and him and Lo Celso are flying back to the UK on agreement with the club by all accounts. So I don't think it's an injury. I think it's been an agreement that he don't play 2 games. He comes back because we need him. Kiam, it's a hard life. Eric Garcia to step up. Maybe. I can't see it. I'll be honest with you. I can't see it. When is your gardening channel? I don't know where that came from. Hey, Andy, how are you? What's for dinner, mate? Tonight, with all the lads are out, my youngest is out with his girlfriends, and my lad's working till late and then going out into Chester. So it's just me and my wife, and we were like, what we're doing? Are we going out for dinner? We're not. And we're going to have a takeaway curry tonight, and then tomorrow me and my wife are going to go for lunch at the Chumley Arms before the boys come back later tomorrow. So, yeah, just having a takeaway tonight, something quick and easy, because I'm busy with work stuff. So, 4-course meal is a bit of a joke for a 12:30 game, a bit early for that much. I was going to say, don't have any breakfast, mate, and then just pack in as much as you can if it's a 12:30 game. Thank you all for your nice comments yesterday. It was really appreciated. Kiam, the answer to centre-back issue is Walker for me. Played there for England. Yeah. Still not convinced on that, but yeah, he can play there. And free Wi-Fi if I get fan cams. A load of us are going, few people I know. Well, get as many as you can, mate, and get them on your channel. Hi, Andy and fellow Blues. Mark the Blue, how are you? Let me qualify my statement. Short-term answer, not long-term. Walker has no footy brain. Bit harsh, Kiam. But I get your sentiment. I know exactly what you mean. Could be a short, could easily be. Which, moving on to the centre-backs, there was an article that was in the MEN today, and it says how Zinchenko could solve Man City's central defensive crisis. And this was by Joe Bray. And he says, as soon as Muric Laporte was taken off the field on a stretcher with a nasty-looking knee injury against Brighton a week ago, the first question on the lips of Man City fans was, who's going to replace him? Laporte has since undergone knee surgery and is expected to be out until at least January, meaning City are left with just two senior central defenders. Fernandinho came on for Laporte, obviously at Brighton. So that leaves Guardiola looking around his squad to find more cover in the centre, and up to 6 players could be drafted in to solve the problem. 6 players to solve one problem? As well as Fernandinho, Eric Garcia and Taylor Harwood-Bellis could be promoted from the EDS, particularly in cup competitions, not the Premier League. But it would be unfair of Guardiola to play them in difficult league outings. Kyle Walker has been touted as a makeshift centre-back after playing in a similar role for England over the past 2 years, and there's even an option of Rodri dropping back given the fact that he possesses many of the qualities that Guardiola looks for in a central defender. That is where Olex Zinchenko comes in, as however long the defensive ranks remain, City will also need cover in deep midfield. So he's trying to say that, I apologise, he's actually trying to say that Fernandinho will drop back into centre-back, and Zinchenko this weekend, I think, is playing for Ukraine, his normal position is in midfield. I just cannot, in any way, shape or form, I just can't see dropping Fernandinho into centre-back and dropping Rodri, or dropping Rodri into a centre-back role and not playing Fernandinho but playing Zinchenko there. I just can't see that whatsoever. On international duty, he says, I play as a midfielder, but when I came back, I have to switch straight away and play as a left-back because it's a completely different story. He says, Guardiola came to me and said, I can see you playing in this position. You have to be good. If you improve yourself, you will get your chance. I can't say it's a completely new position for me because when I was in Russia, I played a couple of games in that position. Now it's my 3rd season playing as a left-back, so it's normal. So I think it is normal, but really, are you going to really play Zinchenko over Fernandinho or Rodri? Not for me. I'll be honest with you, not for me. Because one thing that we've looked at in that central defensive midfield role is the way that teams play against us, and you do see keepers and centre backs pumping a big ball up into the midfield area. Now, Fernandinho is pretty decent in the air, and Rodri is very good in the air. Zinchenko good in the air? I'm not too sure, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's an option. Maybe we'll see Zinchenko in maybe midfield in cup competitions. What we got on here? I'd rather have a scarecrow out of Wizard of Oz at centre. How's it going, Andy Dimmock? Yeah, you cheeky bugger. You can go in a timeout. Tomorrow. Don't know what that means. Just interested, what's the process of getting fan cams out? I think people would be interested in behind the scenes, how you do. How do you get Wi-Fi? Yeah, too long to go into on this chat. Surely Walker centre-back, Cancelo right-back? Possibly. It does make sense, but then my question to you would be, okay, do you want Otamendi and Stones, or do you want Walker and Stones, or Walker and Otamendi? For me, I'd take Stones and Otamendi every day of the week, if I'm honest. I'll be honest with you. Because I don't think Walker's passing is particularly fantastic, if I'm being honest. But it is an option. It's definitely an option. Rob just came on a few minutes ago. Sorry, company January loan. Well, people have said that, JTR 35. What else we got here? Yeah, we beat Man U women 1-0 over 31k there. Yeah, we did. Anybody watch the game? Any thoughts on what you thought of the game? I'll be honest with you, I've already said it. I thought it was pretty difficult watching it. Not the best game I've ever seen in my life. So, yeah, the news is Otamendi is on his way back to Manchester City, or already on his way back to City, which is good news. So at least he's not going to get injured in the next round of games for Argentina. Yeah, we beat Man U. The play in the final third was so sloppy. It was awful, if I'm being honest. Not just sloppy, it was awful. Highest attendance for a women's game. It is so far, but they're reckoning tomorrow. Somebody said that they could get 40k at the Chelsea Spurs women's game tomorrow, which is amazing. Recall Sandler. Doubt that'll happen. You know, it's like recall Sandler, or when we've already got Taylor, Harwood, Bellis and Eric Garcia in the squad. Sandler's not going to walk in, and this is my whole point. It's one thing saying, "Oh, let's put Eric Garcia in, let's put Taylor Howard." But so we're gonna say to the likes of John Stones, Otamendi, or even Kyle Walker, "No, sorry, you're not good enough. I'm bringing this young kid in." Really? Is that really going to happen? Don't matter what we think as fans. Is that really going to happen? You're going to bring Otamendi all the way back from Argentina early, and then say to him, "Oh, by the way, we're dropping you for Eric Garcia, or we're dropping you for Taylor Howard Bellis, or we're going to bring somebody back off loan, and you're going to sit on the bench, Otamendi." It just isn't going to happen. It is not going to happen. Has Roger ever played centre back? He's big lad. I reckon he could. As I mentioned this the other day, Kian. Is big enough? Is skillful enough? Is he quick enough? I'm not too sure. Especially if it was Rodri and Otamendi, you'd be a bit worried about the pace at the back. But he's positionally very good. He's good in the air. He's strong. He's calm under pressure. So he is an option. Who would you rather have? I'll be honest with you. I'd probably still rather have Fernandinho as centre back, as cover. I'd still rather have John Stones and Otamendi, if I'm being honest. But, you know, how about Otamendi and Steph Horton? Just kidding, Steph will crush everything. I don't know. Don't know. But it is an option. He's quick over short burst, quicker than Ferner. Now, yeah, is he positionally as aware as Ferner? That's the point. As a centre-back, it's sometimes not always about pace, I'm guessing, but it's about reading the danger, being situationally aware and being able to project ahead. We know he's got a very quick brain, and he is right. That's enough of that, so you can go in a timeout. He reads danger. He reads it. He absolutely reads danger, and that's the one thing he's got over Rodri, in my opinion. But it's one of those. We'll wait and see what Pep does with it. Can't wait to see Gundogan centre back. Please stop it. If one of the youngsters get in, they might surprise and we can win 10.5 men. If not, yeah, they might do. They might do. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I just don't think it'll happen. That's just my opinion. Others might say, no. Would much rather have Eric Garcia in there or Taylor Howard Bellis or whatever. And I'm sure they probably won't let the team down. My point is, will it happen? And if it does happen, it might be great. But what if it's a disaster? One, you ruin the kid's confidence. And two, you're saying to the likes of Otamendi and other players, "Oh, I'm bringing him. I trust him more than I trust you." That ain't great for the rest of the season. So we'll see. We'll wait and see. Pep will have this all planned out anyway. He's a genius. I can see Walker centre back and Cancelo right back. I think that's why we bought Cancelo. We'll wait and see. You were in the garden. Do you think Zinchenko is a better left back option than Angelino? Probably. I'll be honest with you. At this moment in time, let's face it, he's had all last season and he's still been our sort of go-to guy this season. obviously, we'd need to see, this is the problem, we'd need to see Angelino playing 3, 4, 5 back-to-back games. Are we going to see that without an injury to Zinchenko and Mendy being injured? I doubt it. I really do. Any news on Mendy? I think he's obviously training around the squad now. So I think Pep said 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago it'll be 4 weeks. So until he's ready. So he's been training now 2-3 weeks with the team. So I'm saying, my guess is, I'm assuming after the international break, Ben Mendy will be potentially available. I think possibly the Preston game might be the first game we see him, rather than Norwich. Foden can't even get a game, so don't expect other kids to get game time even when you have no say. I totally couldn't agree more with that Rob statement. I've just said it over and over again. You know, it's you have to remember, it's one thing bringing up all these kids' names, but who are you dropping for them? You know, it's not FIFA where you can just drop them and there's no emotion and there's no knock-on effect and you bring them back the next game. You turn around to a senior player like Gundogan or somebody else and say, oh, you're not on the bench today because I want to play Tommy Doyle or I want to play this kid, or hold on a minute, he's going to go, well, what? I'm a senior player, and it's just far too many variants on the whole thing. A vital year for Mendy. I think it's his only year. Everything will be dependent on Mendy, whether he stays fit for a season, plays well, etc., etc. If he doesn't, I think he's a goner. Kiam says, I think we'll regret not signing a centre-back and we'll be playing catch-up after Christmas. Well, the thing is, after Christmas, Laporte will be back. So will Laporte come back after Christmas in a situation where we're just about to go into the group stages and things like that? So, hey, there is emotion in FIFA, how dare you? You know what I mean. Andy, has your missing doorknob gone to City as a stopper? It has, mate, yeah. I can't play computer games, Marble says. Steve Black, manager's team choices are final regardless, and if told correctly, players will accept. Yeah, in an ideal world, Steve Black, in an ideal world, that isn't an ideal world. Mendy will break again at Deepdale on that quality pitch. Only way Mendy proves himself is 30 straight games. You want to see our pro club if you want to see motion. I never said from the players, the people playing. I'm talking about actually the animated individuals, not the person playing it. That other guy I saw yesterday was very good. Marble likes him. That other guy, you mean the one who's in a timeout because he's a cheeky sod? Yeah, and he'll go back in a timeout when he comes back on. And Jay Wang, you'll go in a timeout in a minute. You can go back in your garden and get planting some bulbs, bugger. Right. Last couple of things. Yeah, we talked yesterday about Alexander Zinchenko. Alexander Savage was on talking about Slobodan Tedic from the night before, and there's an article that's in the Football Man Cave, and they talk about why 2 reasons why it could be a potentially great signing, and they're saying obviously we've invested €3 million into that particular deal, and they're saying, well, so what makes it a good deal? First thing being age, an obvious pick. However, City like to prepare, and they pick out players carefully who they think have the ability, determination and skill sets to cope with pressures of the club's training and organisation. He's only 19, he's had 5 goals in 39 appearances. Then there's the fact that he's already appeared in Serbia's youth team, as well as joining the training camps in Manchester. He'll no doubt be placed straight into the under-23 squad until he's ready and blossoms into the first team in a few years' time. I'm not too sure about that. This is why Man City win titles. They're organised and pick out players at the first sign where they could be up to their standards. They then spend weeks actually watching them closely before jumping the gun. Guarantee they'll add to his value. I'm sure they will. Relatively unknown is the next point, saying other clubs know very little about him. We know now about him, and fans may not know much either. When you look at whoscored.com for some stats and information, there's hardly anything in there, just his appearances. This is something that Man City are good at, picking out players before any competition get involved. So when he does make that move to Manchester, he'll start off low key and end up making a name for himself in the club. At least that's what the plan will be at the Etihad. Well, I'll be honest, I'll be very surprised if he actually comes to the club and doesn't go out on loan, especially if he's already playing international under-23 matches. Does he really want to be just sat around the under-23 academy team? Doubt it, if I'm being honest, but we'll wait and see. Let's go back. Hi J Wang, did Marble mean me? Thank you, very kind of her yourself. Steve Black, Pep always changes, let's face it. How many times have we heard on here? What's the team and response being? Pep could throw anything up, so can't always say who or not. Always said that, Steve Black. Never ever once have I ever said any different. You only have to watch the live match day vlogs when people say, who do you think will play? I always say the same thing. No idea. Absolutely no idea. You can never ever pick a Pep team. So we've no idea. Like I said, Pep knows what he's doing, and whatever Pep does, we have to trust him. And if it's promoting a kid over a first team player, so be it. If it doesn't work out, Pep will get a load of grief off City fans. If it does work out, Pep will be a genius. So we just have to go with whatever Pep really wants to do. If we all ignore international football, will it go? No. Oh, forgot it's on, isn't it? Yeah, I won't be watching it if I'm honest. Who here is coming down Wednesday for a great night? What's the bloody point of a break so early into the season? Balls to wing. It's garbage. It's absolute nonsense, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, I mentioned Shrinia, mentioned the women's team. There's not much else to talk about, if I'm being honest with you. We looked at City women beat United 1-0. Tedic update, Zinchenko. I should have put not centre back. I meant to put that as centre midfield. Muric in net for Kosovo win. Yeah. So obviously England play Kosovo next, I think, and Kosovo just beat Croatia. I think it was 2-1 in there, and the goal that was conceded was nothing to do with Muric, but they said that he had a good game. So we'll see Muric if people are interested in the international game. I think it's Tuesday night, I think it is. Obviously, Otamendi has not been included in the Argentina's next game, because it was all agreed with Man City that he wasn't going to play both games. He was going to come home early. So I think it's a sensible move, and I think Lo Celso is also coming back to the UK with him. I just pray for no injuries, so do I, so we can moan, Rob. Loving the rate moderators to chatters. Thanks very much. Maybe you need to go on Ray's channel, Steve, because you seem to love that channel. So you can go out for a while with your little sarcastic comments. Andy and the Mechanics, that's the new band we're setting up. We always look back over our shoulder. We do. Absolutely. So anyway, listen, just a quick roundup. You can go over and watch Ray's fantastic videos on Man City women. I'm sure, Steve, you'll love those ones, and the production quality is absolutely incredible. But anyway, if Edison didn't exist, we'd had struck with Casper Bravo. Muric would have been our next keeper. You leave Casper alone, mate. Bravo, there's nothing wrong with Bravo whatsoever. So Muric, let's face it, he didn't do a great. He didn't have a great start to his Forest career, but I'm just hoping he does really, really well for Forest, and obviously his national team, which he did do. So anyway, listen, just a quick one today. Not much to talk about, I'll be honest with you. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, go over, listen to the podcast video that Rob put out with Martin and with Willie. It's all about the international break and international football and injuries and everything else. Thankfully, nobody got him started on VAR, but yeah, there is a warning. There is some strong language on there, so it's just like a podcast, but it's a good listen. So go over and have a watch or a listen to that particular one. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at some point. There will be there'll be a new podcast coming out very soon, and that'll be a very interesting one, and we'll probably fill you in with more information tomorrow night or something like that when we let you know who we've got on this particular podcast. So take care, guys. We'll see you soon. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, click subscribe, hit the bell icon, keep commenting below. And glad Aguero didn't play yesterday. He'll break Henry's record. I totally agree with you, JTR 35. I think he's going to keep going, and hopefully another 20, 25 goals this season, or even 30, the way he's going. He looks like he's right up for this, what could be his final big season, but he's still got 2 years left. So anyway, take care. We'll see you soon.